Now, you may or may not be aware that I like to do special things for certain movies, such as an a cappella video for Pitch Perfect. You may also be aware that Deadpool features a lot of fourth wall breaks. Now, you may be expecting me to do something special along those lines for Deadpool, but I'm afraid I'm not going to, because I don't really like fourth wall breaks. So I can assure you, in this video, there will be no fourth wall breaks.
Shit.
Movie acknowledges the existence of Ryan Reynolds in this world, so how come Wade Wilson doesn't constantly get barraged by autograph hounds and paparazzi when he is so clearly Ryan Reynolds?
Oh dear. That's a meta joke. You just send it for being a meta joke. This is not a good sign for a movie that's 90% meta jokes. Also, it's now a good time to mention that when this video appears in the related videos at the end of other videos, that the thumbnail is cropped in a way that makes it read everything wrong with Deadpool.
It's amazing any movie can be released in 2016 and feature only one moody teen. Flat out incredible.
Jeremy uses sarcasm to say something good about the movie, and then that's a sin for it. And actually, as a matter of fact, when you Google 2016 movies, you find that of the biggest movies of 2016, very few of them actually had any moody teens in them at all, so you made this up completely. So, just to summarise, Jeremy made some stuff up about some other movies, and then he called out Deadpool for these things he made up about movies that aren't Deadpool. Makes sense.
This movie finally calls out the Stan Lee cameos, and yet still features a gratuitous Stan Lee cameo.
Jeremy doesn't understand that something actually has to be there for you to call it out, which actually he demonstrated in his last sin as well.
Not once during this entire movie does Deadpool comment on or complain about the weird mask nipple that forms at the back of his head when he wears this thing.
Deadpool may have many powers, but seeing the back of his own head is not one of them. Seriously, how would he ever even know that that thing's there?
What does Miss Mama June taste like?
Like two hobos f***ing in a shoe filled with piss.
How do two hobos that want to f*** each other even...
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. No. This is not something you should read into. Stop it.
How do two hobos that want to f*** each other even decide a shoe is the perfect setting? And how do they fit into a shoe? We've taken a weird hard turn into a discussion of hobo geometry and smellonomics.
Thanks for that mental image, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Also, you said smellonomics.
Hobo geometry and smellonomics.
When this was a simile for a taste and not a smell.
What does Miss Mama June taste like?
See?
Is that an Adventure Time watch? Jesus, pander to the nerds much? Also, reference that will be outdated and downright lost to time within a few short years cliche.
Jeremy somehow finds a way to shit-talk Deadpool and Adventure Time simultaneously, which is just unacceptable. That's like blasphemy squared.
He's got a nice pair of smooth criminals down under.
Making me mentally picture Hugh Jackman's presumably shaved testicles.
There are two kinds of people in this world. People who are allowed to complain about unpleasant mental images, and people who in the last 60 seconds asked us to consider the mechanics of two hobos fucking in a shoe filled with piss.
Not one of these trailing cars goes around this wrecked SUV and continues about their day, which every American knows at least one of these fuckers would do. Doo-dee-doo, not my problem, I didn't see a thing. Vroom.
Jeremy made a car noise, and I'm easily amused, so...
Okay, remember, gridlock is what's keeping police from arriving on this scene, even though there is nothing on the other side of the crashed SUV. There is literally all the room in the world over there for cops to be approaching the scene.
I'm sorry, Jeremy, you are a professional nitpicker. What did you just say?
There is literally all the room in the world over there.
I'm sorry?
Literally all the room in the world.
So you're telling me that there is literally all the room in the world on that road? No.
Jeremy, is it? I'm not here for him. I'm here for you.
Movie named Stalker Pizza Shame character after me, and I'm equal parts honored and insulted.
Jeremy, you should really be used to sharing your name with some colourful characters, let's say. This shouldn't be a new thing for you.
I was molested.
Me too. Uncle.
Uncles. They took turns.
Future Mrs. Poole here says they took turns like it's supposed to make things worse, but can you think of any alternative to that would be better? And now I suddenly feel like I've lost my right to complain about mental images.
I love what this movie is going for, and I actually totally buy the love between these two. But the amount of sex shown, and the length of time it goes on, totally unrealistic to any real relationship I've ever known in real life. This is movie love, where sex happens every 6 hours. That shit is an illusion. Only 15-year-olds believe in that shit. And who was this movie's target audience? Oh, wait.
In this montage, we see them having sex 7 times over the course of a year. That doesn't sound like every 6 hours to me. Also, you're saying that this kind of sex life is unrealistic, but Ryan Reynolds is the kind of man whose name often ends sentences that begin with the words, "I'm not gay, but..." Men like him are not bound by the same earthly sexual limits that bind the common man. I'm pretty sure he could get the Pope into a gimp suit if that's what he so chose to do. You know, I'm starting to feel like if I don't want to be a hypocrite, I should either stop complaining about unpleasant mental images, or stop mentioning things like the Pope in a gimp suit.
I had a Liam Neeson nightmare. Drop-dead kidnapped his daughter. He made 3 of those movies. At some point you have to wonder if he's just a bad parent.
Wade Wilson would be amazing at cinema sins.
Apparently, a character successfully pointing at a problem with a different movie is worth a sin for this movie.
During the entire time Wade cuts through his own arm, Colossus just sits there and watches it for some reason.
Jeremy forgets what sits means.
Snag the dry cleaning tag off your lab coat.
Where the was that tag so Wade, who was strapped to a hospital bed, could steal it so easily?
It was on his lab coat. He just told you that. Pay attention.
Ah, and now we instantly learn this girl's always has a match in her mouth.
Snot.
Francis, who experimented on this dude to make him magic, leaves him for dead in a warehouse fire, because Francis is the worst kind of stupid. Overconfidently Bond villain stupid.
Francis assumed that Wade would die from being impaled through the chest with a piece of rebar trapping him inside a burning building. That cocky, overconfident bastard.
Wait, was this guy on the ice when Deadpool shot or stabbed him at first? The blood trail starts in the middle of the ice.
Yes, it does, so clearly the answer to this question should be yes. This is a thing I should not have to explain to you.
Also, come on, Stan Lee didn't even create Deadpool. But I always forget that Marvel movies are contractually obligated to fanboy whenever possible.
Deadpool is a Marvel self-parody movie. This is a joke, it's a damn good joke, and you damn well know it is.
We only ever saw this chick while Wade was strapped to a torture table. Now she's going haywire on Colossus, who broke Deadpool's bones just by taking a punt.
Okay, so what you said was definitely true, but why is that a sin? What's that? The kind of channels that YouTube favors most are the kind of channels that get the most watch time on their videos, and longer videos will inevitably lead to more watch time? Oh.
Seriously, she takes like 5 repeated kidney shots from an all-metal dude and feels nothing. She's basically Superman in this movie. Female Superman with a match-in-my-mouth fetish.
Yes, another sin that's basically just an observation. Yes, she's a very powerful character, but why is that a sin? At this point, you just seem to be pointing out whatever happens to be in front of you and increasing the sin counter.
I'm left to wonder why Deadpool takes several minutes of climax to defeat a villain he utterly schooled and pinned earlier in the film in about 30 seconds. Yes, I asked this earlier, but I'm asking it again because it's blatantly unaddressed by the film. Answers?
Maybe it's something to do with the fact that in this fight, Francis is armed and hasn't just fallen off a motorbike. But wait, don't go anywhere yet, because... Cinema wins, where somehow the opening choir always goes perfectly with the opening music of the movie. How do they do it? I have no idea, but they always pull it off. So -1 sin right off the bat for consistent excellence.
Star Wars jokes.
Empire.
Everyone loves a nerd correction, but I think he was speaking of the overall saga.
That right there was in no way a win. If anything, that was a sin. This should be in the Cinema Sins video and not the Cinema Wins video.
No.
Honesty.
You look like an avocado. Had sex with an older, more disgusting avocado. Yeah. Not gently, like it was hate.
Avocados? Disgusting? How dare you speak such heresy?
And now I'm going to give Deadpool those same props for giving us an unkillable dude versus numb dude. And it's super fun. Every blow doesn't need to be parried because number 1, it's R, and number 2, they can't die.
Well, actually no, Francis is perfectly able to die, and really should be making more of an effort not to get hit in this fight.
I'm psyched for the sequel, and I hope it does turn into a franchise. Sadly, the one thing that Hollywood has seemed to take away from it is to just make everything R. Hopefully that doesn't get too out of hand. Wolverine always should have been R. Beyond that, not everything needs an R rating from here on out. But it is kind of nice to have the door opened like this. I wouldn't expect any MCU movies to go down that path. Some things just don't make sense with an R rating. Like if they decided the real problem with The Good Dinosaur was that it just wasn't gory enough, and there just wasn't enough cursing or hot animated dino-on-dino action.
Hey, I would totally watch that, just out of curiosity if anything. Oh, and this isn't a sin by the way, I'm just having fun.
Actually, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
Hi, and I'm here at the end of the video to tell you that if you want to suggest one of your own sins to be featured in one of our videos, you can follow us on Twitter at CinemaSinsSins. And I'm here to tell you that if you watch our videos through the Sins playlist linked on screen now, you'll find it might contain exclusive clips that can't be found anywhere else, such as fuck-ups and things that didn't make it into the final cut. You can also click the Listen to This Music link to listen to this music that you're about to hear now.